Hi, guys. Hi, my YouTubers. We're here. And I'm going to get the Instas up here. See if I can get those guys up. We're here together in my parlor. Today, we're coming live to you from the Parlor of Wonders. Pretty exciting. Fancy town. Well, we've done it before. This is not anything new. You guys that have been around for a while have seen me here before. So you guys that are here early, you're the early birds. Hey, early birds, you get your questions in. Type them in right now, and I'll get to them. The latecomers, they can listen to us talk about your questions. Ha ha. Tricky. While you guys are doing that, what should I talk about? Oh, there was a topic I wanted to talk to you about while we were waiting for the questions to come in. What was it? Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm kind of excited that this January, I talked about it last week, this January, I'm having a live in-person root work spectacular week retreat, a week-long retreat, Monday through Friday, 5 days, where you get to come and be with me at the shop here at the Parlor of Wonders. You can see that in person. And be with me making magical things. Here, I made a list of the things that are on the website. If you go to my website, Parlor of Wonders, you go to instruction, you go to Academy of the Magical Arts, and you will see the retreat information. We're going to be learning about manifestation magic. We're going to be learning all about herbs, working with herbs and magic. We're going to be doing divination, different kinds of divination, and learning and practicing our divination skills. We're going to be making jack balls. We're going to be making mojo bags. We're going to be doing candle spells. Maybe we'll be making some candles. We're going to learn all about cleansings and working with bath crystals and making some bath crystals. We're going to be doing sympathetic magic, learning about that. And we're going to be making poppets. It's going to be an amazing, amazing, fun week of making magic and getting your skills and magic to a whole other level. So exciting. Now, what's even more exciting, and I have this thing brewing. I got to give credit to my right-hand gal. I got two right hands. Marlene is one of my right hands and Bridget's my other right hand. Probably don't meet too many people with two right hands. I got two right hand women on my team. And Marlene said to me, why don't you offer this retreat as also offer it remotely? So I'm going to figure out a way, because I can do it through Zoom. That's what I use for my classes. I teach classes, tarot classes and all that stuff to people all over the world. But I'm going to figure out a way that we can do this class, send you the materials, and you can do it at home, or you can watch the videos because we're going to record it then, and you can watch the videos on your own free time. And then you can do this at home kind of whenever. Either do it live with me from wherever you are, or you can do it like if the time difference is too wacky for you, you can watch the videos afterwards and then do the things, because you'll have all the materials sent to you. So we're going to figure out a way to do that over the next week or two, how to make the retreat a virtual retreat or a live in-person retreat, which is amazing. Either way, pretty awesome. So I hope that you're going to think about joining us and finding out more information about it. If you want to find out more information about it, I think there is, let me check and see. I think, oh yeah, there's a place that you can sign up. I think, no, there's a place where you can purchase the retreat. The retreat is going to be until October 31st, you get $295 off the price of the retreat. So if you're interested in the retreat, contact Bridget, my assistant Bridget, my other right hand. It's Bridge, B-R-I-D-G-E, with a T at the end, Bridget, at parlorofwonders.com. You can find her on the About page if you forget that. Go to the About page on my website and you can find her information. Email her and say, hey, I'm interested in the retreat. I want to do it remotely. I want to find out more about that. So if not, wait in a week or two and we'll have all that information up and you can be able to sign up and still get the discount and get in on the retreat action, even if you're not able to come here to Los Angeles. So I hope you would like to come to Los Angeles. That would be amazing. So you can do all that stuff from the comfort of your own home. You will do it in your pajamas. Magic in your pajamas. What could be better? Nude. I don't care if you're watching a video and I don't see you, that's fine. Make sure it's from the neck up. I don't want to see your bits. Not that your bits aren't lovely, but all right. So let's look over at what we've got for our questions today. All right. So over on YouTube, what is the difference between spells versus rituals? Which one is more powerful and when does one use a ritual? All right. That's a great question and an easy question. Rituals would be the umbrella topic of rituals. We have all kinds of rituals, you know, a birthday, blowing out the candles at a birthday is a ritual. Is it a spell? It could be a spell, but for most people, it's not a spell. You make a wish, you blow out the candles. That's a ritual, right? So ritual is anything that you do habitually that has some kind of significance or meaning. So you might have a ritual of, for example, taking a shower in the morning before you go to work. That's a ritual. Now you can turn that ritual into a spiritual ritual for sure. You could do a cleansing shower. You could do a cleansing bath, but you could also do a ritual without having any spiritual connotation to it. So spells are a particular type of ritual. And when we're working with spells, we're working to make change, to make magic, to make something happen. Through our spiritual focus and intention. We're putting our focus, we're putting our intention somewhere, and we're doing these actions to support that, right? So can you do magic without a ritual? Absolutely. Pure thought magic, where you're just visualizing something, has no ritual to it. You're not doing an action to support it. So you can do magic without ritual. Magic without ritual is kind of what I call wild magic, where you're focusing on something without any tools, without any procedure. You're putting an intention, doing a visualization or something like that. When we get into a pattern of some kind of doing something to give some more oomph to our focus, then we're doing ritual that is a spell. Like for example, we're blowing into a mojo bag to give it life. That's part of the creation of a mojo bag. That's part of the ritual, part of the spell of making a mojo bag is blowing into it to give it some life, right? So, but rituals can be anything. Going to church is a ritual. That's not magic. It's going to church, right? Going to opening your presents on Christmas morning is a ritual, right? Because your family has always done it that way. Opening your presents on Christmas Eve may be the ritual that you have. So those are rituals, just kind of things that you do, sort of traditions or things that you do to create something. But magic spells are a certain class of ritual. So all kinds of rituals. And when we think about like there are rituals that are more closely associated with magic spells. Like you might have a Sabbath ritual. If you're a pagan, you might celebrate the Sabbath in a certain way, or have like for Bridget, for example, the spring equinox. You may do. Not the spring equinox, around February, beginning of February, you do a ritual to jump over the bonfire, right? To bring in the sun, to make the sun get bigger, right? You might do that kind of ritual. To do a ritual of a harvest ritual, you may do some other things, and so on. So there are rituals that are that are kind of communal rituals, but they are kind of spells because you're doing something to affect some kind of change, right? You want the season to be good. You want the weather to get warmer. You want the sun to come out more. You obviously will, and whether you do it or not, but you're sort of representationally doing that. So that's a whole other thing. But that's the idea that that a ritual is something, a big umbrella under which magic spells are one type of ritual. So that's the difference. Hi, Instagrammers. Let's see what you guys have to say. Hello, everybody. Automatic Paradise. Hi. Hi, Madam Pamita. How can I use power oil before the gym? Also, can you use bend me over oil, or another way of saying bend me over oils, essence of bend over oil, on a cocky friend? Okay. So 2 questions there. Quick question, simple question. We'll get to both of them. Power oil. So power oil is used in a couple of ways. Number one, we can use it to have power in a situation, like energetic power in a situation. For example, you might want to be at work more powerful and more authoritative and have more power over others in a work situation, which has nothing to do with physical strength. But you may want to do something that actually has to do with physical strength, and power oil can support physical strength. So a nice ritual to do, of course, whenever you're, super simple to do, nice ritual to do for your spell, right? Again, following that umbrella. Nice ritual to do would be to put some power oil on your hands and put it on you in an upward motion. There's the ritual. Put it on you in an upward motion before you go to a gym so that you can lift more, that you can push through those hard repetitions and all of that stuff. You might put the intention as you're putting on that I build my muscles, or that I lose weight, or I get stronger, or I'm able to lift more, or whatever the intention is as you're saying that. Say that prayer or intention out loud. Super simple to do, very easy to do. The one thing I would recommend is that you do, after you put it on your skin, that you wash your hands, because greasy hands on all those equipment at the gym isn't nice for the person that comes after you, and will probably make it slippy and a little bit dangerous. So that's the only caveat I would have around that. Can you use essence of bend over or bend me over oil on a cocky friend? Yes. So essence of bend over oil is an interesting oil. It's been around since probably that idea of having essence of bend over. I know it going back to probably, I want to say the 30s or the 40s. So it's been around quite a while. And essence of bend over, but it's probably going back even further in non-commercial forms, having something where you have somebody like kind of bow down to you, really is what you're getting. The essence of bend over is to get somebody to be more compliant with you, to be a little more submissive to you. They're gonna bend over. They're gonna be a little more submissive. You know how, like, interestingly, what's coming to mind is like, the dog whisperer. The dog whisperer comes into a situation and he is the authority, and he makes these dogs that are very unruly dogs behave and become submissive to him because he has a posture that is kind of authoritative. Well, it is authoritative over the dogs. So the same thing with essence of bend over. If you have someone that's a little too domineering with you and you want them to submit to you a little bit more, then you would use essence of bend over. So bend me over, bend over, or whatever oil is for that. And so if you have a friend who's kind of bossing you around a little bit and you want them to listen to you a little bit more, then you could use essence of bend over. It's not going to harm them. It's just get them to simmer down with that cockiness. If they think they're so great and they're kind of putting you down, essence of bend over would be perfect to get them to kind of treat you a little bit nicer. People use essence of bend over on bosses, on spouses, on friends, on whoever, when people are up on their high horse and they aren't being nice. So yes, your cocky friend, if they're not being nice or listening to you, that would be a good thing to use. How you would do it is you can use it. You can put some on your hands with a prayer before you meet your friend, and then shake your friend's hand or pat your friend on the back. Very sneaky way of working, but a nice way of getting that oil on them. Just a little bit of it. Like, you don't want it to be greasy where you're leaving a handprint on them. Again, little goes a long way with all the oils. Perfect. All right, let's look over at YouTube, guys. Okay. D and 123 has a question. Hi, D and 123. Hi, Pamita. What does it mean when the picture and the petition paper burn that was put under the candle? Well, okay, that's about candle reading, and when a picture burns, depending on what the spell was, I'm not sure what that spell was. Generally, we wouldn't look at that as a super positive sign. It may be that they're kind of done with it, or that they're done with the situation. If you were doing a banishing spell, that would be a positive sign. You want to get rid of them, and their picture and the petition paper burned. Excellent. You really did some great banishing work. But if you are doing for example, a love spell on someone, or something like that, and their petition burned and the paper burned, I would recommend doing another candle with the paper and the petition again, and seeing if you get a better result. That's the great thing about candle work. If you don't get a good result, it kind of is feedback, but that feedback, you need to do, you can do something about it. So if you have a candle, you're doing a jinx remover candle, a reversing candle, and the candle glass breaks, do another one. Just do another one till you get a good burn, So if you have one that you were doing a sweet spell or a love spell or a essence of bend over spell, and you wanted this person to be, to still have the relationship with this person, then I would do it again and try it again and see if you get a better result. Maybe there's resistance on your part. They want to be out of your life. They want to be distant from you. They don't want to have anything to do with you. On a banishing spell, I'd look at it as a positive. Anything other than that, you might want to do another candle. No big deal. Just do another candle. See if you get a better result. All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, Leeds Hill. Yay. Oh, great. Okay, so Leeds Hill has a question. Hi, Madam Pamita. I bought my ticket to your class in New York City. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. October 12th in Brooklyn, I'm going to be teaching a class on magic and doing magic with tarot cards with tarot. You don't have to know about magic and you don't have to know about tarot. If you know about one or the other, great, because I'm going to teach you how to use them together, how to do them together, how to use the tarot for magic. But this class is a class that's available to anybody. You don't need to know how to do anything because I'm going to teach you in the class how to do it. So if you don't know anything about tarot, you're going to come in with your magical knowledge. You definitely have magical knowledge. I know because you've been here with me, and I'm going to show you how you can use tarot in your magical practice. If you know about tarot, but you don't know anything about magic and you want to know more about magic, you can learn. You'll know about the cards, but you'll learn how to use them magically in that way. And if you don't know anything about either, you got a friend. I mean, you probably are not here if you don't know anything about either, but if you got a friend who's like, I don't know anything about it, but I'm interested in it, they're going to be able to participate as well. We're going to make magic. We're going to do spells. You're going to take home a spell packet. It's going to be amazing. So you're actually going to do some magic in the class. It's a hands-on class. I'm super into hands-on everything. Hands-on classes where you actually get to do something and make something are some of my favorites. So it's not going to be a lecture, boring, me talking. It's going to be a chance for you to actually do this work. You're going to learn about it. You're going to learn how to do it. And then you're actually going to do it. So I'm super excited about it. So you don't need to know anything about either one of them. You can bring your friends who are complete newbies, but are curious, and they can do it too. So anything you need to do to prepare, I have all the materials. I'm going to bring the materials with me. You don't need to know anything. You just need to bring your fabulous self, and I guess bring an attitude ready to have some fun, ready to make some magic. That would be helpful. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. That's exciting. The rest of you, if you want to sign up for the workshop, it's going to be at Catland in Brooklyn, which is a bookstore in Brooklyn. And you can find them online at catlandbooks.com. Come over. It's $15 to have the class. I'll be doing a book signing afterwards. So if you have a book or you want to get the book, you can buy it there. If you already have it, you can bring your copy and I'll sign them if you'd like. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun time. You get to hang out with me and I get to hang out with you, which is fun for me. So I'm excited about it. All right. So let's see what we've got over on YouTube. Mystic Girl at the Crossroads. Is it safe to add personal concerns to a figural candle and then lighting it for your spell? Or would that make it a poppet and setting that person on fire? No, it's totally appropriate to add personal concerns to a figural candle and light it. So if you go onto my site and you see under instruction, so go to parlorofwonders.com, under instruction, you'll see a bunch of free guides and information on doing magic. Tons of resources there. There's how-to guides, there's how-to videos, there's my podcast, which I know I have to make some more episodes. I know. There's what else? I have a blog up there. I've got all kinds of stuff up there for you guys. So if you are interested in learning about that particular thing, go to the how-to videos. And under the how-to videos, you'll see 2 skull candle spells. One, I think I call the advanced spell work or something, advanced skull candle spell, which talks about loading a candle. So loading a candle is where you dig out a portion of the base of the candle and you can put herbs and you can put personal concerns. You can even put a petition paper inside the little hole that you make and then seal it up with the remaining wax. And I show you how to do that on the video. Many, many, many times people do that with putting a personal concern because you can't really put a fingernail clip. I guess you could take a fingernail clipping and clip it into tiny little pieces and then sprinkle it on a candle. But so much easier to load it and nicer looking to load it, right? A little piece of hair may get lost on a candle, but if you load it in the bottom, you know it's there. So loading a candle is it's also a way to work so that you're working in a more sneaky way. So you could take a plain pillar candle. I wouldn't recommend a taper, it's kind of a little too skinny, but a thick pillar candle, you could dig out the bottom of that and load it with a petition paper and personal concerns and herbs, and then set it on your table and burn it. And everyone thinks, oh, she's burning or he's burning a nice candle for atmosphere, when actually you've got a spell going on there. It just doesn't even look like a spell. So it's a kind of way, loading a candle with personal concerns is a way to be sneaky about your work. You know, maybe you're doing a work on your significant other and they're in the house with you and you don't want them to know that you're doing work on them. So you might want to take a candle and hollow out the bottom and put those personal concerns where they can't see that you've done that. And then they think you're just burning a nice candle. So, yeah, so take a look at that video, and you're not burning, you're not setting that person on fire. It's a very typical way of doing. We don't look at burning something as destruction. It can be used in destruction spells, but we burn candles all the time. It's setting something in motion. And it's not as if when we're burning a candle for prosperity, we're burning and destroying our prosperity. No, we're setting a light out there and setting energy out there for our prosperity, right? We're putting action. Remember, fire, the element of fire represents action, movement, things happening. We're getting it going, right? So the element of fire is about movement. I want my prosperity to come. I want my love to come. I want my good stuff to come. I want something to happen here. And so whenever we're doing that candle spell, we're sending off a rocket is what we're doing. Energetically, we're sending off a rocket. So if you set off a rocket toward that love, you're not destroying that love. You're not destroying a poppet. The difference is if you are dedicating something to be a poppet. See, when we do a candle spell and we load a candle, we're not blessing that candle and saying that what I do to you, I do to John Smith. Now you've created a poppet. And yes, if you burned a poppet, then you are working on sympathetic magic of destruction. But if you're just burning a straight candle and you're linking that candle to a person through a personal concern, you're not saying this is what's happening to John Smith. You're saying this links John Smith to me, and I'm sending off a rocket for that desire of that he's going to give me a raise, or that desire that he's going to fall in love with me, or whatever. We're sending that out there and we're making it happen. We're making movement happen. We're making action happen. So don't get confused. If you make a poppet, if you turn a candle, a figural candle, into a beeswax poppet, I recommend cutting off the wick. You do not turn it into a candle. I wouldn't do it, because you are destroying that person. But unless you want to destroy the person, that's not the kind of magic I'm into. But if that's your jam, okay. But if you are doing a poppet is a poppet. If you're doing candle magic, that's candle magic. You can use those same tools for either one. All right. But those are different things. Hope that explains it. All right. So let's see what we got going on Insta. Astrology dude in London, UK. Hi, astrology dude in London, UK. Hi, guys. Happy birthday, Creative Libra. Creative Libra's birthday, I think, is tomorrow. It's exciting. Happy birthday. Hello, kisses from Brazil. Hello, people of Brazil. It's so exciting. Solando Fatao. Solandos Fatao says, what tarot do you use? What tarot deck do you use? Majority of the time I use the Rider-Waite deck, and and I use a particular Rider-Waite deck. So the Rider-Waite is Rider-Waite Smith, we like to call it, because Pamela Coleman Smith gets her due. So the Rider-Waite Smith, the one I like to use is the Centennial one, because it's taken from the original art from 1909. And so the little tiny details in the card are easier to see. It's not all blurred out. Some of the later copies, it's like taking a copy machine and making copies of copies, it gets worse and worse. And so some of the decks that came out in the 80s and the 70s, like the ones I had, weren't so clear and nice. But this is one where they went back and meticulously went back to the original and got every little detail of the artwork so it looks like the original one. And this is what the back of it looks like. It's a Centennial, Pamela Coleman Smith Centennial Edition. And that's the one I like to use. Look at our Empress there, so pretty. I use that one a lot. I also use other Oracle decks. I use other decks that I like to use. Sometimes I like to use the Morgan Greer deck. I like that one once in a while. It's kind of 70s. Guys have big bushy Magnum PI mustaches on it. And kind of fun in 70s. I use that one once in a while. I also like Daughters of the Moon deck, which is a round deck. That deck, it can go either way. It's very feminist. It's very also kind of 70s, 80s, you know, kind of energy to it. But I would say 95, 98% of the time I'm using a Rider-Waite Smith for my readings. But I use these other decks once in a while when I want to change it up. You know, what else do I use? Oh, I use the Mucha, Alphonse Mucha deck, which is another beautiful deck. The Harmonious Tarot, I use that one. What else have I used in the past? The William Blake deck, which is a wild and crazy, amazing deck. And, you know, I kind of mess around with different decks. You know, at times I'll get kind of like want to change it up and I'll do something different. You know, I'll use a different deck just to sort of have add some flavor. Instead of eating at the same place every day, I'll do something different, right? So yeah, sometimes I use those, but 95% of the time I'm using that Centennial Edition of the Pamela Coleman Smith Centennial Edition. All right, guys. Hi, Virginia. Oh no, bad time change math. All right, Virginia. I'll talk to you. I'll email you. She's talking about my mastermind group. Let's talk and send messages to one another on email. Okay. I'll do that tomorrow because tonight I don't think I'm going to have time, but tomorrow I will. Hi, guys. Hi. Hello. Vivian's here. Vivian says, hi, so good to see you. My 18-year-old son is abroad for a year. That's why I had to miss the meeting yesterday. What is the best way to keep him safe? Oh, so that's great. We're going to talk about, well, there's a couple ways you could do. Number one, you could do, if he's into it, you could send him some safe travels oil. Safe travel oil is great that he can put it on himself anytime he's moving around or moving from place to place. If he's not into doing it for himself, you can do it for him. So you can create a poppet that represents your son, and you can dab a little bit of that safe travel oil on it on a regular basis, just sort of blessing him and putting that protection on him as he travels. You could also light a candle, you could dress a candle, like a protection candle with some safe travel oil, and then, you know, bless him in that way, light that candle that he's safe, and you could set it and forget it that way. So there's a lot of things that you can do, but safe travel oil is great for anybody that's traveling, whether he does it himself or you do it you do it for him. Either way, it's going to be good. So nice. So how fun for him that he's getting to have that adventure and have that experience. Lovely. All right. Let's see who else we've got. Oh, questions we've got over here on Instagram. So cute. You guys are so cute. Sending your messages. I love that. Is that a hanged man portrait behind you? Yeah. Right back there. It's here. Pull it up. Let's talk about the Hanged Man card. Why not? It's here. Someone asked about it. And you didn't ask what it means. I think you might know what it means. But the Hanged Man is an interesting card because Hanged Man has a very negative connotation, right? Ugh, it doesn't sound good. And in fact, old decks, this was called the traitor. Some of the decks, like the Italian decks, they call this the traitor, and somebody who was hung by their foot in the town square because they had done something bad. But in later decks, we've actually transformed this. So if you know a bit of Norse mythology, this is what they're referring to in Norse mythology. Look at this guy. He doesn't look like he's suffering. He's got this halo around his head and his face looks very serene. And if you know a little bit about Norse mythology, you might know the story of the god Odin hanging on the magical tree Yggdrasil, which is the world tree, the magical world tree. And Odin wanted to know the mystery of the runes, the Norns, who were like the fates, these magical, very intelligent, very mystical priestess kind of fate ladies, the Norns knew about the runes, and they could read the runes, but no one else could, right? So just like a man, right? He needs to butt in. And no, I'm joking for you guys out there. I'm not going to be like that. But Odin says, I want to know what the runes mean too, right? I want to understand these mystical symbols and what they mean. So he was told by whoever, himself, the higher power, or his guides or whatever, that he had to hang on the magical tree Yggdrasil for 9 days. And so he hung by his foot for 9 days. He pierced his side. His side was pierced. His life was draining out of him, but he didn't die. He was hovering in that sort of shamanic initiation state of being halfway between life and death. And after the end of 9 days, he came down from the tree, hanging by his foot, hovering between life and death, and understood the runes. Now he could share it with the people. Now he could share it with all of his people, what those runes meant. So it no longer was secret information. So the runes are magical symbols that represent language, right? They can be written. You could just write, a letter to mom in the runes, but you could also use each of those individual symbols magically as a talisman, a protective talisman. So if you can imagine, like, for example, if the letters of our alphabet each had magical properties, like A meant you're protected from, A meant you could start a new venture and it would be successful. Then you could wear that A around and walk around with that. But that's what the runes are. And that's what the Hanged Man card represents. So when we see Hanged Man show up in a reading, it means discipline and diligence, and maybe even sacrifice will lead to a good result. That's why he has a halo around his head. Why? Because he's getting enlightenment. So there's an enlightenment that comes from discipline and diligence, right? So I have all kinds of cards. That's not the only one. I have a giant Fool card over there. It's like 3 feet by 4 feet. I've got the Star card here, back here. His Star card. I've got some more around. These were given to me by my store mate Jen, so she got them somewhere and she gave them to me, so I have them here. But the Hanged Man's a beautiful card. Doesn't sound like a beautiful card, but it represents a great thing, that if you are willing to be disciplined, if you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to do what's necessary to get to the result, you'll gain a great benefit. So it's a beautiful card to have around, and a reminder that some things take effort, to get to. All right, so let's see what we've got over on YouTube. Hello, Magical Renee. Hi, Magical Renee 88. Hello, Madam Pamita. What color, candle, herbs, and oils should I use to influence my boss to give me more work hours? Oh, we just talked about a great oil for that. Essence of Bend Over is a great one. You could use that if your boss is kind of dominating with you. But if your boss is a pretty nice person and you want him or her to just you want to influence them, then the oil that is typically used for that is Boss Fix oil. That is to get your boss to kind of be nicer to you, and that giving you more hours would be a way to influence and be nice to you, right? So you could use that. Now, since it has to do with money, more work hours has to do with money and prosperity, I would recommend using a green candle or a yellow candle for gold, or even a gold colored candle if you can find it. And then use that Boss Fix oil. You could do some money herbs like patchouli and blue flag root and alfalfa. Those are all great money, allspice. Those are all great money herbs that you can use on any kind of prosperity candle. But I would use Boss Fix oil, or if your boss is really kind of a dominator, then you could use Essence of Bend Over too, or just instead of. So, all right. Alrighty, let's look over at Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary was the winner. I participated in a contest. I'm going to announce it again, even because we announced it on Instagram. We had an Instagram contest with a bunch of Seeds of Shakti, who you can find on Instagram. Seeds of Shakti started a group giveaway. So we all did this group giveaway where if you signed up on everybody's, it was like, I guess, a half dozen of us or so. If you signed up on everybody's account, you had an opportunity to win. Everybody of those half dozen people all had a giveaway. I gave away a reading and a copy of my book, and Mary List was the winner. So Mary is going to get her book. I think it's coming. Oh yeah, she just says, hi, I'm big hugs from Kalamazoo. I'm looking forward to getting my book. Excellent. Let's see what else we've got. All right, so Sabrina speaks and teaches, says, I need a healing regimen for my love. Okay, so because this is a kind of a personal question, it's better to get a reading with someone to find out exactly what's going on and what you need, because this is more of a forum here. What we're doing here is answering general questions about things. How do I do a love spell or whatever? But for your particular situation, you're asking about doing some healing for your love situation. And rather than getting generic advice, it's better that you go to a reader and a root worker or a magic person or a spellcaster or somebody who can teach spell work, who can then advise you particularly what you need for your situation. Because sometimes in those situations, it may not be what you think that you need. So you can come to me, you can go to someone else that you know and trust and get some advice about that. You can book a session with me on my site, Parlor of Wonders, of course, but you can go to anyone you trust and get some specific advice on how to do that. All right, let's get to a question. Okay, our life. Hi. Hello, Madam Pamita. I did a love spell. It burned with a heavy black smoke, almost a quarter of the vase. Then it got clear till the end. What's the meaning of that and how to get rid of the vase? Well, you get rid of the vase by recycling it if you have recycling in your area, or disposing it if you don't have recycling here. Hopefully you have recycling in where you live. But the meaning of that, black smoke on a glass candle. So there's plenty of things that we can read when we're doing a candle spell. And if you're doing a candle, like a vigil candle in a glass encased candle, or you're burning a freestanding candle in a glass jar, then you can read the smoke on the jar. So I think I have a video that's up, or it's coming up soon, that's going to tell you about how to read a candle after the fact. But if you go take a look at the how-to guides and you look at the candle how-to guide, you can get a general gist of this, but I'll tell you what it means. So when we're looking at smoke, we're looking to see what our ideal situation is, that a candle burns clear all the way down. That means there's no spiritual blocks. Black smoke represents spiritual blocks in the situation. Now, we also pay attention to how far down it goes, to how, as a sort of interpretation of how intense it is. Now, if it's going about a quarter of the way down, and it's black smoke, that's going to be some spiritual blockages that you have to remove. So in that case, if you have a candle that burns with that, the recommendation, sort of the automatic recommendation, is that you do some kind of cleansing work around the relationship or around yourself, or both. So cleansing on yourself could be a cleansing bath. And if you look at my videos, I have a video on how to do a cleansing bath, how to make your own cleansing bath. I sell bath crystals. Cleansing bath is not a hard thing to do. So you can watch those videos and know how to do that. You can also burn a candle for cleansing. There's an energetic purification candle or a spiritual cleansing candle, which is going to clean things up spiritually. So either one or both of those things is what would be the recommendation if we saw black soot or smoke. Now, if we see gray smoke or white smoke, what that indicates is that there is spirit guides that want to help you. So when we see light smoke, that means spirit guides wanting to help. Gray smoke could be sort of so-so, and black smoke, all the way down, is mean some spiritual blockage to your situation that you need to clean up. Once you cleaned it up, then burn another love candle, burn another come to me candle, or whatever it is that you're working on, and see if you don't get a better burn. But I would recommend doing a cleansing beforehand just to make sure. Okay. All right. Over on YouTube, Kimberly Myers. Hi, Kimberly. Hello. Is there such a thing as overkill in a spell? Example, using candles, lodestones, honey jar, mojo bags, sachet, all in one spell. Well, yeah, I think there is a sort of an overkill. I mean, you can't screw it up, but what it's sort of saying, you're sort of saying to the universe when you do that much work that you don't believe in any of your work, right? Subtext of that, right? If I'm writing a letter to you, sending a text message to you, sending an email to you, calling you on the phone, leaving a voicemail, writing and skywriting over your house. Do I believe that any of those things are going to get through to you? Probably not, because I'm doing overkill, right? So when you're doing so much work simultaneously toward one goal, it gets a little bit, it sort of has the subtext that you don't believe that any of it is strong enough, right? So this is an interesting thing. My colleague and friend, Madam Nadia, is another root worker, spell worker, reader, and so on. And she did a very funny video recently that was like, what do you do when people say, I want your strongest spell? And her funny video is like, what do you think I give my other clients? Like, not who aren't you, my shit spells? Like, that's not really how it works, you know? It's like, it's not like going to a bar and saying, barkeep, I want you a strong drink, your strongest drink. That's not how spell work is. So, so it's not like there's shitty spells and great spells, or crappy, lame spells and great spells. And we're going to give everybody, the average person, the crappy spell. But if you're asking for that special strong spell, we're going to give you that special strong spell. And not how it works. It's not like one spell work is stronger than another. You might have spell work that's more suitable for the situation. Now that I will say, there are things that are more suitable. For example, great example of this is if you have a personal concern, something that belonged to the person, a piece of their hair, a fingernail clipping, clothes that they've sweat in, and you've got some of their sweat, you have some of their DNA, weaker personal concerns. You can go to my how-to guide on personal concerns. So you can see all about personal concerns and exactly this topic that I'm talking about. If you have a personal concern and you want to work sympathetic magic on a person, then there are spells that you can do that you can't do if you don't have these things. For example, great example of this. If you want to do a honey jar on a lover, a potential lover, you have to have been intimate with that person. A honey jar isn't going to sweeten someone that you have no contact with. If I want to do a honey jar for, I don't know, Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt doesn't know who I am. So I don't have any intimate contact. Not that I would pick Brad Pitt, but you don't have any, I don't have any contact with him. There's nothing for me to sweeten there because there's nothing there. And if you don't have a personal concern of someone that is your potential lover, now I'm not talking about a judge or a boss or a neighbor. I'm talking about a lover. You have to have something intimate to work on an intimate relationship with a honey jar, So if I want to do a honey jar, I have to have a piece of hair, a fingernail clipping, a sweaty sock, a something that has their DNA on it. Otherwise, you don't have a strong enough connection. You don't have enough of a connection. If you can't get those things, there's nothing to build that honey jar on. All right. So if you're doing those things, like there are situations where something works better for something, a certain situation. Gambling luck. We generally like to use mojo bags for gambling luck. Why? Because you're carrying it with you. You're holding it. It's on you. It's stuck in your bra or stuck in your pocket, and it's keeping that luck with you. And you use it on those days that you're gambling, and you put it away when you're not gambling, right? Perfect, right? It's easy. It's perfect. And you keep the energy going by carrying that mojo bag with you every time you go gambling. So think about the context of what you're trying to accomplish and then pick the best tool for those things. If you're doing a mojo bag, candles, lodestones, sachet powder, honey jar, blah, 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 and you're doing all of these things around one thing, it's kind of like dissipating all this energy and not believing in any of it. I don't believe that my candle spell will work, so I'm going to back it up with a mojo bag. Then that's kind of the subtext of doing all that work. Now, that caveat with that is sometimes people will have a hard situation and they will want to burn candles back to back, meaning I'm going to burn this vigil candle for my new job or my love or whatever it is I'm burning it for. And then when that one's done, I'm going to burn another one and I'm going to keep hitting it. Or like burning a honey jar candle, you're going to be burning every Monday and Wednesday and Friday until you get your result. That is keeping the energy up, but you're not doing this thing over there and that thing over there and this thing over there. Likewise, you can, a lot of times I teach you can burn a candle spell and then take those hard artifacts off of the candle spell and put them into a mojo bag so that you carry the energy of that candle spell. But that's a very different energy than I'm going to do one of each thing for this one purpose. Then you don't trust any of it. Do the candle spell and trust the candle spell, because the belief in it is 90% of the work. The other stuff is just supporting it. If you don't believe in your spell work, then don't bother doing spell work. I mean, that's why you hire a root worker to do spell work, because if you don't believe in it, you need someone else who doesn't have any doubts to do it. Right? If you don't believe that you can have this person come back to you, if you don't believe that you can have love in your life, if you don't believe that you can have prosperity in your life, that's a tough uphill road to get there, to get to that place, to have those things. So you need to get into the place of really being clear and focused in your belief, and then bring in this thing to support it, but also believe in the spell work too. If you don't believe a candle can accomplish it, then don't bother burning a candle. Why bother if you're going to throw 50 things at it, you know? So that's the only part, the overkill. It's not as if you did any of those things, if you're doing all those things simultaneously, then you're counteracting it. Now, remember, nothing is going to set anything back. Like if you do 50 different spells all simultaneously for love to come into your life, it's not like it's going to backfire on you and send you into the person hating you. I just don't think it's going to do that much more than just doing a single candle or doing a single thing. A single thing will have just as much power as doing 10 things. But the little wobbly part is if you're not believing in any of those things, and then that's going to set you back much more. So that was a long monologue on my part for that topic, but it's an interesting topic that we haven't covered before. And thank you for bringing that up. I think it's kind of a fun one, an interesting one. Haven't really discussed that very often. All right. Eluna Hima. Hi, Eluna Hima. What can I use for home protection or to bring more finances to the home? I think that's what you're trying to say. The autocorrect put something crazy there. More finances to the home. You know what a beautiful spell? I'm going to give you a beautiful, beautiful spell for protection and for finances. Plant some basil if you can. If you have a house, you can plant it outside of your house, or if it's getting too cold to plant it outside, you can grow it inside your house. Basil is a beautiful plant for financial abundance, a beautiful plant for protection. Gorgeous. Plant some basil seeds, grow them from scratch. A beautiful spell that I love to do is to have that basil plant. And whenever you find money on the street, free money, a penny on the street is free money, people. That is free money. You thank the gods, you thank your deities, you thank the universe every time you find a penny on the street, because that is free money and that is your abundance flowing to you. And when you thank them for that, you're going to have more flowing to you, right? You're going to create more flow. It's not just more pennies. You're going to get dollars and $100 and so on, you know? So when you have, when you find money on the street, push it into the earth next to your basil plant. Push that penny into the potted plant, or push it into the ground next to your plant that's planted outside. All right. That's a beautiful way to bring protection. You can put it by the front door if you have sun by your front door, or you can just put it in your window anywhere in your house, you know, but basil by the front door is a beautiful protector, right? Planting that side, if you have a house where you can plant outside, is a beautiful way to do some herbal magic that's like living active herbal magic, and something very beautiful. So there's a cute little spell to do. Why not? Why not do that one? All right. So let's see. We got okay. Over on YouTube. Hi. I love all the little hearts you guys send me on Instagram. It's super cute. I see those. I see you. Let's see. We've got Kalinda Kali says, I'm sad for Jasmina and Steve's death. I saw a brief thing about Jasmina and Steve, and I'm not sure who those people are. I don't know them, or maybe I know them and I don't know them, but I saw a little blip of that and I tried to find out more information, and I don't know what they were, but I know they were somebody in, I believe, the magic community. and they died very suddenly, and I'm not sure what happened. So it looked like they were on, I went over to the site, it looked like they were on a road trip or something like that. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, it's, their spirit is going on, their spirit lives on. It's sad that we lose our people here on earth, but their spirit lives on. And, ultimately they will come back again in a new, fresh baby body and have a new experience again. But yeah, it's very shocking and sad when we have somebody we care about. I was like that when David Bowie died. Oh my God, I cried and I cried like crazy. But yeah, when you have somebody that you look up to or that you have a connection with, it's very hard. So I'm going to look and see if I can find out more information about it. But I'm not sure who they are, and I'm not sure. I just know they were people in the magic community. I just didn't know them. I don't think I knew them. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did, unless they went by a different name. How can you tell if a person is crossed or jinxed from a reading? There's certain cards that show up. So if you're asking a question if people are crossed, even cards will represent how they're crossed, right? So if we see, let me find some cards and I'll show you because it's useful to see the picture. So if we're using a Rider-Waite-Smith deck and we're looking at how people are crossed. Okay, here's a card that shows their money is crossed or their health is crossed, right? If we see 5 of Pentacles show up, Pentacles represent health, money, material things. And we've got poverty, these poor people. So it's lack of health or lack of money. So somebody is working on them, on their health issue or their money issue. Okay, 8 of Swords. Somebody is bound up, meaning they're stopped from having their success. So they're bound. This is jinxes versus cursing, right? Jinxes mean that they're stopped or blocked. So 8 of Swords means they're blocked. Sometimes this can mean that somebody's working on a puppet on them, but not necessarily. It could be that they're just bound up, stopped from having their success and blocked in some way. Let's get to another one. Okay. This is 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords means someone's getting into their head, messing with their minds, messing them, doing dream work on them, doing mental work, and kind of messing with their mind in some way. Let's see what else. But you'd have to ask the question, is my client, the client will ask the question, am I cursed or blocked? And if any of these cards show up, it will not only tell them, yes, there's a curse or a jinx on them, but in what area and what is happening with it. Here's another one, 5 of Cups, which is a card of pessimism and depression. So if a person, this is a thing to make someone feel sad and feel hopeless. So that kind of a curse. Devil card, control magic. Someone's controlling them. That's a big one. Tower card, not one you want to see. Somebody's trying to destroy them or destroy what they have. 5 of Wands, somebody's trying to confuse them or make them kind of run around like a chicken with their head cut off, making no progress. 10 of Wands, someone's trying to make things harder for them, heavier for them, or make things go slower. Death card sometimes shows up, although the death card isn't about someone dying. If you are asking the question, it's more about something they're trying to stop something or end something or cut off something for someone. Could be, depending. If I saw a death card, if they asked about a curse and I saw a death card and a tower card, I'd go, maybe they're trying some really hard magic and they may be trying to end your life. But that would be unusual. Not many people can do that work or do that work, but, it happens. That's a very, very unusual situation. Hanged Man could, in that case, if I asked, someone asked about a curse and I saw Hangman, and maybe someone trying to hang you up or suspend things or make things not move, it's plateauing. So that'd be another kind of curse that could happen. 5 of Swords, arguments with others. I mean, I'm showing you all the cards. These are not the only meanings of the cards, but this is a way people, if they ask a question about cursing in the tarot deck, and you're asking, look in tarot. 3 of Swords, they're trying to break their heart, make them sad. This is the one. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is like doing puppet work where they're doing sticking some pins in a puppet and doing some kind of destructive work on them with a puppet. So that's how I interpret those cards. Other people may have other interpretations, but as a general quick 2-minute introduction to how to do that, that's what I would say. So the person getting the reading or you as the reader might have a feeling that the person is jinxed or crossed. So the person asks that question, or you can say to the client, hey, let's take a look and see if this is coming from a jinx or a curse of some kind. And if those cards show up, then you know where it's coming from. All right. I wouldn't throw out 30 cards to look at it, by the way, either, because if you get 30 cards, you are going to get it. But, you know, throw out 3, 4, 5 cards and see if one of those things shows up. If it's going to show up, it's going to show up in 3, 4, or 5 cards. If it doesn't show up in that amount, don't keep throwing cards till you get a bad card. Nobody wants to, because eventually the law of averages, you have 78 cards. If you're throwing out 30 cards, it's only almost half the deck. You're going to see something negative come up. So let it be really concise. Let your readings be concise when you're asking those questions. Just throw a few cards. All right. Or if you're throwing a bigger reading and those cards show up, it could mean that, if that's the question. All right. But don't throw a million cards to get, because you will get to one of those. All right. It's practical things I look at. Got a Taurus moon. That's how I roll. Practical some of the time. All right. So Lilianar Ni. I don't know. I'm probably mingling your name. Hi, Madam Pamita. Do you work with Santa Muerte? I like your candles with her, but I never worked with her. Okay. Santa Muerte, I don't work with her, but I do get asked by spirits to do work on their behalf. Meaning I do work for, I do make the candles primarily. I make the candles for people, and then clients where they have been asked by Santa Muerte to make an offering. When I was doing candle work, I'm not doing candle work for clients at the moment, but I have done Santa Muerte candles for clients when she has come forward. But I personally don't have, I have a sort of receptive, active relationship with her. I don't have a relationship where I ask Santa Muerte to help me with anything, because I stay in my lane. She's not my goddess. She's not my, she's not calling to me. I'm not feeling her saying, come to me, but she is saying to me, I need you to make these candles for the people who do work with me. She does like to work with people who have a background, Mexican background, Latin American background, as she comes from that culture. She's Mexican folk saint. So people that have a Mexican background have access to her in a way that I think, as a white woman, I'm staying in my lane about it. It's not my goddess. It's not my culture. It's not that. But I do have lots of clients who are Mexican American, who are Mexican and so on, who do work with her and love her and have a super close, beautiful connection to her. And I love seeing that connection, and I love supporting that connection. So Santa Muerte, along with Black Hawk and other spirits, sometimes they come to me and they say, hey, we need you as a candle maker to make a candle, to make a spell kit for the people who do have this connection to her. So first of all, I would check with her to see if she wants to work with you. When you are working with any spirit, you want to check with that spirit to see, can I work with you? Will you work with me? Are we going to be friends? Are we going to work together? And so if you have this calling where Santa Muerte is coming up to you and saying, coming up for you, and you're like, I feel like I'm being called to her, ask her and then see what you get back. Within a day or two, you should start to see some signs from the universe that she wants to work with you. Signs from the universe can be seeing Santa Muerte, which would be great. You see a symbol, you see a picture, or you see something by chance, not that you're looking for, but that you see by chance out in the world. You see a Santa Muerte thing, or that you see like a quote unquote Grim Reaper image would be a sign that she wants to work with you. Or you hear someone say the word Santa Muerte, or you get some other sign from the universe. That will be your sign that she wants to work with you. Then she's saying, yes, we can work together. If you don't get that sign, don't take it personally. It means you're meant to work with some other spirit. That's all right. No big deal. You work with another spirit, you'll find out what it is. Or maybe it's not the right time for you and she wants to work with you later. It's not for me to say. So whenever you're working with a spirit, whenever you're getting called to work with a spirit, ask the spirit, can we work together? And then see if you get some kind of a sign, right? See if you get some kind of sign related to the culture of that spirit, related to that. I think that when you're walking in a path, if it's not your culture, you have to be super careful. You don't want to be appropriating someone else's culture or taking someone else's culture and reforming it just because you can, right? It's not cool. It's not nice. And you definitely want to ask that spirit. The spirit will tell you if you can work together. Sometimes you have oh man, I love Egypt and I love ancient Egypt and I really want to work with Cleopatra. Well, great. Let's ask Cleopatra if she wants to work with you, you know? And if that is not your culture, tread carefully, people. That's all. You know, you got a culture. My culture is all that Western European mutt and all the Eastern European stuff. I got lots of goddesses and goddesses that I can work with, lots of spirits that I can work with, lots of people that I won't be going out of my lane, right? That's it. Stay in your lane. No big deal, right? I love Santa Muerte, but Santa Muerte has only asked me to do candles for other people. All right. She's not asking me. She's not saying to me, hey, we're I'm going to do it for her. Why not? She's asking me. And there's people that appreciate having those candles. There's people that appreciate having a black hot candle to work with. He's like an amazing spirit to work with, but they're not my spirits. They're not my culture. That's all right. That's all right. You know, I got plenty to work with. There's all kinds of Ukrainian gods and goddesses and spirits. There's all kinds of Irish spirits and you know, Western European and Eastern European spirits that I can work with. That's no problem. Stay in your lane. No big deal. All right, guys. Love you so much. Love you so much. I'm going to see you next week. So happy to see you here. Don't forget. Oh, bye, Instagrammers. Bye. YouTubers, don't forget that I have my thing coming up in New York on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And if you want a reading, I'll be there on the 10th and 11th doing readings at Catland. You have to book them ahead of time online with me. So go to my website, parlorofwonders.com, book a tarot reading or spirit guide reading or a past life reading. But instead of choosing in person or phone or Skype or one of those things, you'll see another choice, in person at Catland. That's the one you want to pick. And then it will take you over to the 10th and 11th of October, and you can book any time. I'm there from 12 to 8. You can book any time that's open and available. Once the times are filled, I can't do any more, but you know, you can go over there and book some time with me. I would love to see you New Yorkers there. It would be so amazing. If you live in the New York area and you want to hang out with me, I would love to hang out with you. If you can't afford a reading or don't, want a reading or don't need one, come to my class on the 12th, the 10th and 11th, I'm doing readings. And on the 12th at 7 p.m., I'm teaching a class on magic and the tarot. And then I'm doing a book signing. The class is only $15. When the spaces are filled, they're filled. Now that for the class, you have to go over to Catland and book through them. They have brown paper tickets or something like that, where you can get your ticket ahead of time. What the class size is limited. So once it's filled, it's filled. So you should do it now. If you're thinking about doing it, bring a friend. You don't need to know about magic. You don't need to know about tarot. We're going to have an amazing time together. We're going to have super fun together. And I would just love to see you. Bring your book. If you have a book, a copy of my book, and I'll sign it for you, or you can buy one there too. All right, my loves. Mwah. Don't forget, January 7th through 11th, I'm having my retreat, and I'm going to figure out a way to have it remotely. So those of you who want to do it remotely will get all the gear, all the equipment, and you can do it from home or you can do it recorded. So amazing. Look at technology helping me out, so I can talk to you wherever you are in the world. That's amazing. I love it. All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your week. I'm sending you off the beginning of the week. Have a gorgeous, blessed week. May beautiful, magical, beautiful things happen to you this week. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Bye. Let me find my off button here. Oh, there we go. Bye, you guys. Bye.